Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Anybody that might. Christwood here. Um, I just wanted to do this live update to say thank you and congratulations to Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police for basically committing the biggest crime probably in Napanee history. To Ontario Provincial Police Spencer Mills, to Staff Sergeants, to ex-chief Shannon Cork, Robert Kane, Robert Lucas, a woman named Stacy, and another woman named Shelley Huffner. To Lennox and Addington County General Hospital doctors, Stacy's girlfriend, Dr. Tatiana V, aka Margie V, Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. Waldron, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. McGregor, Triage Nurse Terry, Triage Nurse Tanya, Triage Nurse David, and Paladin Security. A guy about 24, 25 years old, roughly 4 to 500 pounds. William Bill Woldridge, 149 Center Street North. By the way, have you ever been to Smith Falls? Billy Woldridge, William Bill Woldridge was your last. Have you ever been to Smith Falls? Maybe your true name is William Bill Coolidge. O.p.p. were involved in a murder in Smith Falls that they had covered up, and the person was sent to Ottawa. So, excuse me. I'm the victim of injuring, torturing, medical blacklisting, sex assault, kidnapping, false arrest to deflect crimes against me. I have remote narrow monitoring on me, police, military, nano microchip implant designed to destroy a person's central nervous system. Tech they have been used since the 60s, and it can be proven, and I have proven it many times. And from it, I have it on me. I am being completely and totally numbed down and dumbed down on a 24/7 basis. I, in hopes I'm having serious memory losses because of being injured. I was gonna go to the hospital today, to Lennox and Addington County General Hospital. I was gonna go there today, and I phoned the hospital and talked to a female Paladin security guard to find out if it was okay if I went to the hospital to be checked, seeing you have to call them to ask first if it's alright. They are the ones apparently that run that hospital. But it was also done the day he kicked me out to help cover up crimes, and so I would not be helped. And I will not be proven wrong, probably done on the promise of him becoming a cop. So, making a complaint against the police. Not that it will do any good, but I am going to be filing that. And I also have to get in touch with Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police to find out badge numbers of Spencer. I know Spencer Mills is 14716 of staff sergeants. They're ones that were there in 2019 and 2021, May 2021. men, ex-chief and his badge number, Shannon Cork, her badge number, Robert Kane, his badge number, Robert Lucas, badge number, Shelley Hafner or Huffner and her badge number, to have them criminally investigated and charged for attempted murder, kidnapping, stalking, even murder on my mother, attempted murder on me, murder on my mother, injure me, torture me, sex assaulting me, having me medically blacklisted while brain damaging me, false arrest once again to deflect crimes that were taking place against me to prevent me help for 8, 9 months. Lies about me stating I'm suicidal and self-harmer, and that's not true in any way, shape, or form. Lies against me stating about drugs I do not do. As a matter of fact, when I was kidnapped back May 27, 2021, the night that they got my blood and my piss, that was also checked for that shit too, for drugs, and it came back negative. Negative. So, and that day, I say this without paranoia, Spencer Mills showed up. It was at my previous address. Spencer Mills showed up. And I had to beg not to be put in his car because I would have been a dead man that day. And I say that without paranoia. He would have had perfect chance. I've even had a justice of the peace make accusations on me stating that I was high on marijuana and hallucinating, being sodomized and being ripped open, even going to the hospital after it happened to try to get help, and it being laughed in my face at by Dr. Barton, and then Dr. Pritchard tried to have me committed for it, for having it happen to me because of me being a man and because of who it was done by. Their co-offending cops that they work with and for, and their inmates that they co-offend with and for and cover up crimes with and for, while O.p.p. co-offend and cover up crimes for the police or for the doctors here. It is nothing but a place that exists for O.p.p. crimes and cover-ups, and I have proven it over the course of 3 years. I am also filing private prosecution as well, and I am naming the Justice of the Peace as one of the people, along with William Wooldridge that needs to be arrested, Blair Hardy, Tyler Legg, Javen Allstein, and the rest of you that are involved. You need to answer for your crimes against me. And one way or another, I am going to find a lawyer and I am going to start criminal and civil lawsuits. I have enough proof to prove my crimes, whether I can go to a hospital or not. But anyway, getting back to that, me phoning and asking Paladin Security if it was alright to go to the hospital, and she gave me the okay. And then I end up getting a message on my phone. It was from an unavailable number. I tried to phone it back, and it said it did not exist. But I also had a message on my phone that I'm going to try to retrieve so it can be played publicly, stating that I was not, that it was from a man. There was no name or nothing, stating that it would be advisable for me to stay away from the hospital. I take that as a threat, and I don't know who it was from because it was an unavailable number. So I take that as a serious fucking threat, advising me not to go there to get help because they're co-committing. Was it one of the doctors? Was it one of the cops that called? Who? I'd like to find out who it was. As I got the private prosecution, the woman working there, she tried to give me advice, trying to advise me on not filling it out or proceeding with anything because who it involved, there would be consequences. And I told her, I am not asking for advice. I asked for the piece of paper and I walked out. I do not need their advice. I have been seriously injured from me not being able to get medical help. My full right side is completely screwed. My right lung, it feels like I have a breathing tube in my right lung now, actually. I've not had any surgeries or problems or anything else prior to me being shot in the ear back in 2019 by the ex-O.p.p chief. And that's when all my problems started. That's when the lies, the cover-ups, the medical blacklisting, and everything else started with me, but not before, is because of me speaking up and talking of the crimes taking place, the homeless human trafficking that was going on out of the Morning Star mission, and the homeless exploitation for monetary gain using the charitable means and the church as a means to do it. They were going around collecting people's, they were holding income tax clinics or whatever, and they were getting people's financial information through that, and it was being given out to others. So they were doing a lot of stuff here. If you're on low income, even the mayor herself in Napanee has stated that if you are on low income, on welfare, it's called, or whatever, OW, or disability here, or anything like that, you were automatically considered to be a drug addict and a high risk criminal because of your monetary status. So, pure and simple discrimination. And I was speaking about all of this, and that's when I got shot in the ear, and that's when the lies, the threats, and everything else. Having my other dog murdered, blood thrown on my previous address, and a whole lot more. Being stalked. William Wooldridge stalking my mother, calling her mom, using remote neuromonitoring on her from the EMFs and radiation. It caused cancer and it caused her death. It was murder with intent done with Blair Hardy. Conveniently, all of these people are unarrestable as well. There is a William Bill Wooldridge, 149 Center Street North, Napanee, Ontario. There is a Blair Hardy, most likely on Water Street or at a woman's house on Center and Thomas side door entrance. The woman is obese and blondish reddish hair. It is a crack shack. There's also Curtis that lives there, the one that threw the blood and tried to attempt arson on my previous address as well through from them. So my skull has been split. Like I said, I get numbed down on a daily basis in hopes to not be talking about this, in hopes that they get away with it. William Bill Wooldridge thinks that he is me. He thinks that we were switched at birth. I'm 50. He's 70, 71, 72 years old. How's that possible? But he believes it. He also thinks he's Harry Potter. The whole right side, left side of my fucking face is completely pushed over now to this way. It's pushing over to my right. And my right side is completely screwed. It's being deformed back. It was more over on my right. Now it's being pushed over to the opposite side. My skull has been elongated. It's been shortened. It's been flattened. It's been rounded. It's been widened. And everything else. There is like a balloon I have inside my head. If I could get an MRI or brainwave scan or something like that done, I bet it would prove a lot of stuff. I get what is called hypoxia every day, which cuts off the oxygen to my brain, which causes brain cell death. And it is being done to me from the radiation and from the EMFs and from all of these different people that are using the remote neuromonitoring on me, doing this identity theft and change to me. injuring me and torturing me while getting paid $300 a day from O.p.p and all the free drugs that they want, plus freedom and protection, which also protects the cops. They're using their badges, positions, lies, false guise of law, Quinny Detention Center in hopes to be unsuspecting of it. Like I said, they false arrest their victims just to criminalize them in an attempt to get pictures, prints, signatures, and everything else for this identity theft, which I've been saying is going to be the outcome, and I've been proving it every step of the way. The different changes and deforming to my face and everything, and the different faces on me from being broadcasted through and actually showing up in pictures as being me, but not me. Like, what the fuck? So, just in case anybody wanted to think that all that stuff that I've been saying about that was a hallucination or a delusion or anything about this changes, and it's certainly not. You were guilty, O.p.p, of murdering not only my mother, you're guilty of murdering me because Chris is pretty much dead, and you're guilty of murdering a bloodline for revenge retaliation because I spoke up and tried to save people from your crimes. And anybody sees my older videos or video from earlier, even the whole, see, there's whole differences again from earlier videos. But I have no feeling in the right side of my head at all. The only thing I feel is that spot on the back of my head, which I've had there for 3 years, and my head's getting flatter. So I've probably lost about 3 inches off of my skull, and it can be 100% proven. But when you have co-committing doctors who are involved with Hell's Angels and Banditos and work for inmates and criminal cops and involved in covering up so they can get back to business and be unsuspecting and get away with their crimes because of their credentials, can't have it getting out that they are involved with these kind of crimes with these kind of people. Isn't that right, Lennox and Addington Hospital? Isn't that right, Tatiana? The one triage nurse that works up there, his name is Terry. He even called me on into a fight one time. So I went up there to get help, and he was playing tough guy. Lies against me, stating I have a long psychological record in history. That is 100% bullshit. I've never been in any kind of those places in my life, and it damn well needs to be proven by the pieces of garbage who cast that lie against me. I have to jump through hoops and prove everything while these pieces of shit garbage are having to prove nothing because they're untouchable and unarrestable. And if I share any DNA with Billy Woldridge of 149 Center Street North, bosses and boyfriends and co-offenders with these pieces of shit, with O.p.p, or Tyler Lake, or Jabin Allstein, or any of the other fucks that are involved, there's going to be serious hell to pay because I am not related to them in any way. So if I share DNA with any of these fucks, there is going to be serious fucking consequences for everybody involved, and that is not a threat. I'm talking legally. You will fucking pay in serious, serious ways. I am the end of my bloodline, so for you to do this to me, go fuck yourselves, you terrorists. You are guilty of domestic terrorism, O.p.p. How too convenient. I was out walking my dog earlier, and I looked from out back of my building to out front of my building, and as soon as I walked out front of my building, who was right there going by right in front of me, a black and white O.p.p. It's because I have prisoner tracking on me illegally, and they see and know every step of the way with me. 100% illegal, while having to prove nothing. So if they're just conveniently going by on Dundas Street it is because bullshit. They're not just out cruising. If they're out just conveniently going by, especially where I live, then it's 100% bullshit. And if I am out and around at that point in time, it's because they conveniently know where I am. And it's through the remote neural monitoring on me, and I bet I am not the only one that they had this shit used on. They're probably using it on many others, using it to invasive surveillance on victims for human trafficking, for sex assaults and everything else. Seeing victims naked, pissing, shitting, showering, having sex, whatever the case may be. This is probably how ex-O.p.p chief was getting his victims, using this and on children, because he's a pedophile. The human sex trade, slavery, trafficking. Under the Human Rights Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Lennox and Addington, Ontario provincial police and doctors are guilty of Section 4 and 5 pertaining to slavery, and many subsections in between. Human rights violations, medical right violations, families are murdered and missing. It is the police doing it, and they have their doctors to cover their crimes. And I'm seeing less and feeling less and less of my real true self because of me being changed. I'm seeing right now Tyler Lake broadcasting through me and fucking Blair Hardy. And I guarantee you he's probably close, probably at the disabled woman's above the wine store or the bakery that lives here, where he probably collecting his welfare checks. He does collect, he is into financial thefts and frauds, insurance thefts and frauds. The ones named, they murder their victims, taking out insurance policies. Isn't that right? Spencer Mills, Wooldridge, and Hardy, Lake and Van Alstyne, Ray and Sam. I've estimated it out. If they give you $300 a day for helping them and all the drugs that you need, over the course of 3 years since it started, O.p.p has given these pieces of shit approximately $480,000, trying to charge me $22,000 for arresting William Wooldridge. Simple, plain fucking extortion. Shannon Cork laughing in my face over me telling her to arrest him, and her telling me to file a report, knowing it would have done no good. It would have been ripped up, tore up, as he went on to stalk my mother and murder her, and she knew exactly what was going to take place. So in Napanee, anybody that wants to commit human trafficking, needs identity thefts, needs drugs, needs to traffic drugs, are pedophiles, or into murders, you come see Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police. The Lennox and Addington Hospital doctor's name, they will keep your crimes covered up with and for you as long as you aid in them too. I hate to be that way and talk that way about police and everything, because I don't hate cops, but this is about cops and everybody else getting away with ending my life and my bloodline, murdering my mother and changing my identity for their benefit to frame me as fucking inmates. I don't think so, O.p.p. I don't fucking think so. I want everybody to recognize this tattoo on my hand in case anything happens to me. There will be no mistake. If I get stopped by the cops, there will be no mistaken identity. I've done nothing wrong but speak of the crimes on me and what's happening from them, and not being able to get arrested or do anything against them or anyone else. So if anything more happens to me, it is 100% O.p.p. It is the doctors here. It is William Wooldridge, Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, Javen Alstein, a guy named Ray and Sam that live on East Street that have a deaf white pit bull. There is also a Bert Hustler of Maggie Falls. There is a Brandy, there's a Kim, there's a woman that on Water Street, there's a woman that lives on Center and Thomas, like I said, obese, crack shack. identity's done, and I feel nothing left to myself. So Chris is murdered, you fucking pieces of shit garbage, and yeah, you're lucky. It was too convenient. I phoned to ask if I could go to the hospital today, and what? A few minutes later, I get a voicemail, and I'm gonna try to prove it 100. I'm gonna try to show it and prove it so everybody can listen to it, advising me not to go there. So, and I do take that as a threat. Very, very interesting. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. I just want to say congratulations, Spencer Mills 14716. You are a serial killing, murdering piece of shit cop, and you became a cop to further your crimes, and I won't be proven wrong. You knew that if you were caught or anything would happen, you'd get a paid vacation and a slap on the wrist. And that's why ex-chiefs, staff sergeants, and the rest using your positions, probably using other cops to give orders to aid you in your crimes, knowing that they cannot deny your orders, so they have to participate in your criminal activity. You are threats and dangers to society because your positions and your crimes. Children are a threat, children are a danger from O.p.p, and so is right up to elderly. They have no problem having people murdered, especially elderly, and it will be done by William Wooldridge and Blair Hardy. I'm being numbed down to be dumbed down. It's funny how I can sit here. I don't even like these pieces of shit, but I can tell when I'm being broadcasted through by them whose consciousnesses and faces are broadcasting it around me because I know their faces from around town. So this is no damn hallucination. I'm not just gonna pick people out of there. Okay, Blair Hardy's using this broadcasting through me for an excuse. No, it's because it's truly happening. And when it is, their faces and everything are right on mine, like a damn hologram. How O.p.p, Lennox and Addington, Ontario provincial police get revenge retaliation. They murder bloodlines. They use inmates. They use junkies. They pay them well. They give them drugs. They give them tech that where they just have to sit back, push buttons for them, which enables surveillance on victims, putting prisoner tracking on victims for tracking trafficking illegally, not having to prove nothing. You did it, Wooldridge, you delusional cocksucking goof. And that's exactly what you are, along with Billy Wooldridge, or along, yeah, well, Billy Wooldridge. I don't know if that's your right name or not, but it sure the fuck is not Chris Wood. You are not a Wood in any way, shape, or form, and I sure the hell am not you. I am not the delusional one. I know exactly who I am, so you fucking goof. And that's exactly what you are, little bitch boy, Blair Hardy. You are a punk. You are a coward and a punk. Anybody that's gotten drugs in Napanee, it's bought from O.p.p and has come through Blair Hardy and Billy Wooldridge. Anybody that's died from it has come from them. There's a guy here in town named Mike too. He's homeless. He lives in a tent or a trailer. He's also involved. Dickface Isaac now has blonde hair, serious fucking drug addict and schizophrenic. So let it be known, this is how the police murder in Napanee with their inmates. They are Hells Angels and Banditos associated. And once again, congratulations and thanks for that phone call. I did not go to the hospital, and I'm not gonna take going up there and wasting my time, or me going up there and something happening to me for wanting help and trying to save my life. So, because I cannot go to a hospital, because I cannot get help, because I do need it, and I am not gonna beg for it. So if anything happens to me, I'm Christ Wood. I live in Napanee, Ontario, Lennox and Addington, and I am a murder victim, and that's exactly what it will be, a murder victim of Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police. One's name, revenge, retaliation for me speaking of their crimes. And right now, as I'm doing this, I'm getting air pumped in this side of my head. No matter how much people, I hope this is shared. I'd like people to share this so everybody can see and know exactly what's taking place and how O.p.p do these kind of crimes. Because there's no help with me. This is done. My identity theft is done. My brain injuring is done. So you got away with this, and I guarantee I bet Billy Wooldridge of 149 looks a lot like I used to. So I guarantee it 100%. I've even had the police surround me, hands on guns, to prevent anything on Wooldridge, to prevent anything on them. Hey, Bert Hustler, you're also a fucking goof too. You use this on me quite a bit as well. You piece of shit. You and Maggie are drug traffickers and undercover. She's an undercover and a pill pusher while working with Lucas. Be safe, everybody. Crestwood here. Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police, Lennox and Addington County General Hospital, Billy Wooldridge, Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, Javen Allstein, Ray Sam. You are guilty of attempted murder, and you are guilty of murder. You're guilty of identity theft, identity change on me, and you're doing it for drugs, freedom, and money. Right, Tyler Lake, you fucking goof. Right, Jaben Allstein, you fucking goof. Blair Hardy, you goof. Billy Wooldridge, who thinks he's me, you goof. You meth-fed junkie pieces of shit garbage, and that's what you are. You want to turn me into a vegetable, somebody that can't talk, somebody that can't think. Well, you think that you own me and control me? How much money did you make from me, O.p.p? I would like to know that. How much are you selling your victims for? How much did you buy me for, Blair Hardy? Or was I just a gift from O.p.p to use because you're their bosses and because you like to fucking kill? Blair Hardy is a serial killer as well. Spencer Mills and him are boyfriends. Spencer Mills is a serial killing cop. Tatiana V is a serial killing doctor through Stacy, her girlfriend, assuring the crimes that are happening to him are gotten away with. No hospital or doctor in almost 10 years. And yet I have falsified files on me at Lennox and Addington Hospital. I'd go to the hospital or doctor. We seen your file, we seen your file, we seen your file. I get drugged on a daily basis as well from these pieces of shit, because when they're high and they're using this shit on me, I feel residual effects from it. When they are using the remote neuro monitoring on me as well, their feces, their piss and shit goes through my body. I cannot gain weight anymore because everything I eat goes to my right side instead of my left to my stomach. So I am being decayed from the inside, and there's not a damn thing I can do about it. Love all, hate none. This is done. Congratulations, Waldred. You're lucky that this is all 100% legal, you garbage pieces of shit, O.p.p trash motherfuckers. And the doctor's here. You are guilty of murdering a bloodline, O.p.p. You are guilty of aiding and murdering a bloodline, doctors here. And you are guilty of murdering a bloodline Wooldridge and Hardy and Lake and the rest that I've named. This is how you turn murder and homicide into a game using this shit, hoping to mentally screw people up by injuring their brains, by deforming their skulls, by doing other shit to them, in hopes to mentally, consciously screw them. Oh, nice little game, William Wooldridge. It used to be in Picton, didn't you, you little bitch? I dare you, this is no threat, but I dare you, Billy Wooldridge, to come see me. You know exactly where I live, you little bitch boy. Do this in person, coward. Same with you, Blair Hardy, or any of you fucking cops involved. One way or another, you will pay for this legally. No threats. You will be arrested. You will be charged one way or another, every single one of you.